So our next bit of movie news as we move forward with two more bits of movie news to go. The Godfather, Coda, the death of Michael Corleone. The trailer just dropped yesterday. We knew that this was happening. There was very little news about what was happening. Here's the idea. We all know that The Godfather 3 is the weakest of the Godfather series, of the Godfather movies. It wasn't always intended, rather the story, as written and directed by Francis Ford Coppola, the story co-written by Mario Puzo, it didn't play out the way that Francis Ford Coppola had always kind of envisioned. And I guess this is stuck with him over the years. He didn't love his finished product of Godfather 3. And so now, on the 30th anniversary of Godfather 3, came out in 1990, 30 years ago, Francis Ford Coppola has gone through and re-edited this film, inserted footage that was cut from the film. He has touted a brand new ending, which I don't know how that's going to go down. I don't know how that's going to work. But he also did, Francis Ford Coppola put out kind of a press release video explaining that, like, the new re-edit completes his vision of what he thinks the trilogy should be. In fact, he doesn't even really see it as a trilogy. This movie is a coda to Godfather 1 and 2. In his mind, like, Godfather 1 and 2 are like a perfect set of movies by themselves. And the third film, Godfather 3, was never really intended to be a sequel to those. It was more of just like an epilogue. This is the bookend. This is the last little thing that kind of like, you can butt up against the last two. It can stand on the shelf just as powerful. And he feels that with this new edit, which should come out in theaters on December 4th, it'll be released on VOD and Blu-ray on December 8th. This is his completed vision that he feels this is what the movie always should have been. It should never have been Godfather 3, the continuation of the story. It should have been the conclusion, the epilogue. This is what happens after all the adventures go down. I think this is kind of an interesting concept. I think this is, I'm actually kind of interested to see this. As I saw the trailer didn't look any different to me from what I've seen in the original film, but then again, it's out of context. It's a trailer. A trailer just shows highlights of the film and gives you enough of the story so you understand what to expect when you watch the movie. I've already seen the movie, so I know what to expect. So the trailer doesn't give me any new information. But I will say, you guys, I'm kind of interested in seeing this new vision of Francis Ford Coppola, or rather his original vision, what his original vision was supposed to be, and not giving the film a new title, as he says in the featurette, but rather give the film its original title, which is The Godfather Coda, The Death of Michael Corleone. Rolland, I know that you've seen both the trailer and the featurette. Do you think this is a good idea? Are you interested in this? Do you think this is going to take off?
My first when I saw the headline, my first thought was, "Oh, this is George Lucas all over again," right? But it's totally different, and I think one of the reasons is George Lucas with Star Wars went back and added CGI, added, additional creatures in the background. And a lot of that was, it feels a little bit like flexing. A lot of that is kind of showing, I don't know, it might be pride and hubris. Although this could be pride and hubris also, this feels, because of the nature of the film, there's no CGI, and I don't think there's a lot of CGI in The Godfather. And I don't think he, deep faked anybody to recreate scenes. This feels more like a director's cut,
Yeah.
right? But also keep in mind that wasn't his daughter the director of the third film? Wasn't it Sofia
I
Coppola?
know she was in the film. Let me look it up and
Or was she
fact
in the film?
check
She
you.
might not. She might have been in it.
Keep going.
Oh,
I'm looking it up
okay.
right now.
So I think because of the nature of the films, one is a science fiction movie that had because that's my initial comparison. How can you not compare two people going back so back 30 years into their old work to modify it? But it's not a CGI thing. Which makes it a storytelling thing, right? And a storyteller going back and saying this isn't quite the right story I wanted to tell. We all know that there are other forces at work in making a movie that goes beyond what the director and the writer and the actors want to do. There's a studio, there's the producers, there's the people who handle the money who end up making creative decisions, taking it out of the hands of the director. So I think seeing this storyteller, Francis Ford Coppola, going back and saying this wasn't quite the ending to the story I wanted, and I'm going to finally make that ending, I think is actually I'm really looking forward to walking through that door when it opens.
So I just looked it up. It is Francis Ford Coppola who originally directed Godfather III.
He
Yeah.
did. His daughter was in
She
it.
was
Sorry,
in it, but
yeah.
She did not direct it.
She directed Lost in Translation. I apologize. I knew that she had something to do with it. She was
And also
in it.
the
Right.
brand new Rashida Jones Bill Murray film.
Oh yeah,
Looks
that's
great.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, Roland. I think that, when it's hard when you see the atrocities committed by George Lucas in the Star Wars films. It's an easy argument to say, just leave it alone. Just leave it alone. We like it the way it is. But in terms of like Blade Runner, there's a lot of people that like the director's cut better. In fact, like there's 3 versions of Blade Runner. There are a lot of people that like the director's cut of Daredevil better than the theatrical version. There are a lot of people that like the director's cut of Batman versus Superman better than the original theatrical cut. So hang
on,
say what?
I'm jotting a note that there's a director's cut of Daredevil, and I need to watch that.
It's slightly
didn't know. Looking forward to it.
Still a bad movie. It's director's cut. It improves ever so slightly, and also I would say the director's cut of Fantastic Four, 2005's Fantastic Four, slightly better, but not by much. Yeah, I think looking at this, same thing with Apocalypse Now, and Francis Ford Coppola doing the director's cut of Apocalypse Now. I think this is going to be that kind of director's cut. I mean, he's calling it, the Godfather Coda, death of
Coda, right.
Michael Corleone, taking it back to his original vision, which, and as you point out, there are so many forces at play when you're making a movie. It's not just the director and the scriptwriter. There's so many other people, so many other fingers in the sticky toffee pudding, so to speak. Sticky toffee pudding. That's all I want right now. But yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see this new vision. Question is for you guys: what do you think of the new Godfather, Coda, the death of Michael Corleone? Are you looking forward to seeing it? Are you going to see it? Are you going to go to theaters to see it? And I will be very honest. If I have an opportunity to go back to a movie theater on December 4th to see The Godfather, Coda, the death of Michael Corleone, I would love to. I've had wonderful experiences so far going back to the movie theaters. So I would actually very much like to see this in theaters. Would you like to see this in theaters? Are you going to see this in theaters? Are you going to wait for the release? All of that information together, jump down to the comment section below and let me know your thoughts. All right, guys. Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, click like. If you really like this video, click subscribe. And if you really, really like this video, click share. Because that is exactly what Batman from the animated series would want you to do. His name is Batman.